Stanley Cup Selection show, in which we will pick our teams to start our Stanley Cup tournament. It'll be one game a day. Whenever the basketball tournament ends, it'll be one game a day. And then after that, it is, the best game of the day. And we also will have the third period of all the games that are games 6 and 7, as well as our game of the day. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sim, we're going to take a look at the matchups, and then we're going to go from there. So here we go. It's live. We're going to sim. These are all-time legends. As you can see, Team Mussolini on the Anaheim Ducks. So all we're going to do is we are going to just go all the way. We're going to sim all the way, and we're going to end this whole thing. So we're going to go to the playoffs. The thing is, it's continuous overtime. And it is continuous overtime. We also have Hartford and Quebec in there. And when we have continuous overtime, that's the thing. It'll just go all the way. So here we go. We're going to hit this. And there we go. We're going to start simulating right here. We can see a little bit about the Anaheim Ducks, how they're doing. These are the all-time champions. We're going to go through all the matchups, all of the all-time things. The Whalers are 5-3. The Canadians are good. The Devils having a very hard time. Remember, there are no ties. We go continuous overtime to select these teams. They beat Quebec, Vancouver. Now they're now 6-10. There are no ties. There are overtime losses, but you get no points for overtime. So it's just you win and you get 2 points or you lose. I don't know how it's an overtime loss. But you don't get any points for an overtime loss. You have none of that. You can see some of the other teams. We're in December here. They actually beat Quebec both times. And we're going to sim. Then we're going to take a look at the playoffs, the tournament tree, and everything to that effect. And the standings and everything. You play 82 games. There you see the Pacific Division in the right. The Jets are 30-15. Because remember, you add both of the right-hand columns, you get no points for a loss. So the overtime loss is really a worthless thing. The Nordiques alumni, the Whalers alumni, they're in the same thing. There's 3 weeks off for the Olympics. And there we go. So we're going to take a look here. The Hartford Whalers, they're in there. They're always in the West. Well, the Eastern divisions are so very difficult. The Devils alumni, they're just very tough. And Nashville, them against Nashville, the Chicago Blackhawks, you can see are good. There's a lot of teams, and it's very, very close. Some of these teams are just, you think that you might be able to get in, but maybe not. The Calgary Flames there are solid. The Flyers are going to be very solid. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they're always good. It looks like the Kings alumni, of course, you have Wayne Gretzky on there. They'll be good. And now they're going to take a look at, and here it is. Let's take a look at the statistics so far. I believe that is the end of the regular season. And now we're going to take a look at the divisions. First of all, let's take a look at, team stats are not there. Let's take a look at the standings. So here it is. Where can we find standings? My God, you'd think that this would actually be a little bit easier. There it is, the standings. You select the standings, and all of a sudden nothing happening. Oh my God, come on, make this interface a lot better as we begin this. And now here we go. We're going to just go here. The Jets are good. They have won. Actually, we're going to hit back and see what happens. We're going to cancel that because we're right there. But anyway, we're going to take a look. Maybe the NHL has something. But we're going to take a look. The X's are playoffs. And we might as well stay with Anaheim. And here we go. So here we go. The Central Division. The Jets are number 1 there. Avalanche are 2. Blues are 3. The Blues history. And the Blackhawks are 4. With 84 points. They will get the playoff positions. The Bruins are 1. Look at that. The Bruins history. They are 60-22. Very good. For the Atlantic, the Red Wings, again, of course, we jump to the East, are their Canadiens, Lightning, Maple Leafs. And you can see the Canadiens made it in third with 100 points, but the Bruins are just so good. The Red Wings, very, very tough. The Lightning are all right, and the Maple Leafs are, well, they're the Maple Leafs. They snuck in. They have a nice history here. Of course, the Sabres, Panthers, and Senators haven't been too much. The Penguins in the Metropolitan Division, a very solid team, 52-30. This was a very top-heavy league. The Capitals and then the Islanders. The Rangers did not make it in their history. Neither did the Flyers. The Blue Jackets and the Devils are there. In the Pacific, the Canucks were number 1, a very big surprise. The all-time Kings are 2, and look at the Oilers. The all-time Oilers were 3rd, and everybody sees Wayne Gretzky and all those great teams. I remember, and the Hartford Whalers. The Hartford Whalers make the tournament. The Whalers make the tournament. The Nordiques do not make the tournament, but the Whalers make the tournament. So let's just take a look at the Boston Bruins right here. As you see, the regular season has ended. When you take a look at, there's the feed. I'm still, trying to navigate all this. It is absolutely horrible. Team stats. There we go. So there it is. Sorry about that. Now there we go. Now I know where to find it. The Boston Bruins ended up with 4 goals a game, and they looked pretty good. They were only giving up 2.5 goals a game. They ended up with 120 points. I believe that was the most. Let's go with the Eastern Conference now. You can take a look at the league. It was the top 8 that made it. And there it is. The top 8. You had the Boston Bruins 1. The Pittsburgh Penguins are 2. The Detroit Red Wings are 3 with 102 points. The Canadiens are 4 with 100 points. The Lightning are 5 with 98. The Washington Capitals are 6th. The Islanders are 7. The Islanders can be a very good team. And the Maple Leafs are 8. Everybody is above 500, so it'll be the Maple Leafs and the Bruins, the Penguins and the Islanders. Oh, my God, a rivalry. Detroit and Washington and Montreal and Tampa Bay. The new versus the olds, of course, Montreal. And Montreal hasn't had a ton of greatness with them. Very competitive. When you take a look out, as the Hartford Whalers had the same amount of wins, losses, and ties as the Dallas Stars, it must have been head-to-head. As the Jets are 1, they're going to play Winnipeg and Hartford in the first round. And you can see Vancouver's going to play Chicago, the all-time Blackhawks, in the second. Vancouver, great individual talent around. And we're going to go to the different rosters and all that. The LA Kings are 3. They're going to play the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the Edmonton Oilers lost a couple games. They lost 5 in overtime in a season. But they're a very dangerous team. And Colorado will host St. Louis. And there are a lot of very good teams there. Now, Colorado could play Detroit in the championship. That's the biggest thing. Colorado could play Detroit in the championship game. So let's take a look at player stats throughout the season. The leading goal scorer in the Legends League was Phil Esposito. Actually, let's go for the entire league. There it is. Phil Esposito with 101. And then you have Howie Morenz for the Canadiens. He had 97 points. Esposito, 53 goals. Connor McDavid, actually, had 96. He's pretty good. Marchand is fourth with 94. He had 60 assists. Wayne Gretzky had 54 goals. He led the league. He didn't have that many assists, and you can see he had 11 game-winning goals. And he might have led the league. I mean, that is so big. That Western Conference was very brutal. And you had Pasternak for the Boston Bruins. Pasternak. Sorry about the Pasternak. My goodness. Brett Hall, also there. He has 90 points. Luc Robitaille with 90. And Dion, the center for the LA Kings, Marcel Dion, he had 89 points right there. When you take a look, that's going to be there. We're going to go. The playoffs are not there yet. When you look at goalies, there's player stats. We're going to have to take a look at goalies really quickly. Here's goalies. And we're going to go for the entire league, taking a look who had the best goalies. With the wins, it was Tuukka Rask with 50 wins there. Roberto Luongo, sorry about that, had 46 wins, 43 for Jacques Plante. He was very good. When you take a look at goals against average, and when you go to goals against average, we want to sort. There it is. Let's go the other way. There we go. You want less. Rogie Vachon, he led the league, believe it or not, for the LA Kings, an old LA Kings. Rogie, he is 1 in goals against average. Jacques Plante is 2. Tuukka Rask is 3. Marc-Andre Fleury is number 4. I mean, that's the thing the Penguins are missing. The Penguins were missing that the entire time. Marc-Andre Fleury, and he had they had missing a defense and a goalie that was pretty good. Casey DeSmith, another goalie, a great one. They had a good defense there for the Penguins. They have a good offense. They might be the A team to beat, but it's going to be very tough. Hellebuysiak, that would be Connor, and he has a great one there for the Jets, and Brian Hayward also for the Jets. James Reimer for the San Jose Sharks at 252. And Patrick Waugh, you're not going to be Patrick Waugh again. Sean Burke there. Sean Burke was really good for the Whalers as they get the 8th seed and they try and get in. Terry Sawchuk and Jimmy Howard, both very good. Luongo, again, very good, the winner. Smith was 15-9-6. He was with the Coyotes at 264. Ken Dryden, he was 7-7-2, 271. Bernie Parent was there, but he didn't get it. Vasilevsky was good there. Glenn Hall and Cam Ward, again, was there. Ron Hextall for the Quebec Nordiques. He tried. They had a very good team, but not the greatest in the world. Joseph and Johnny Bauer there. And those are about as much down as we want to go. So now what you do is you go to the playoffs right now, and here come the playoffs. Playoffs will start in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. We're going to take a look, and here they are, and maybe not there, but it's going to be over to the right, and we're going to take a look at all the teams, and here it is. Let's take a look at the playoff tree. Here it is. Here's the playoff tree. When you look at this, you have the Avs and the Blues. That'll be good. The Winnipeg Jets and the Hartford Whalers. This is on the Western Conference. the LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers, which Gretzky versus Gretzky. Gretzky's going to get out of that. So Gretzky versus Gretzky. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. That really will be. And the Canucks and the Blackhawks. There's a lot of really good, solid teams here. On the other side, it's going to be the Capitals and the Islanders. I thought it was the Penguins and the Islanders. Remember, they do that divisional thing. We're 2 versus 3, so they play that divisional round, and it is bizarre, but that's all right. It gives us some really good matchups, as the Capitals now will play the New York Islanders. The Penguins will play the Tampa Bay Lightning. Sorry, couldn't spit it out there. Detroit will play Montreal. The Detroit Red Wings will play the Montreal Canadiens, and the Boston Bruins will play the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is really a crapshoot, really. There are no favorites. This might be one of the most competitive tournaments, really, ever. It's going to be competitive. It is the Legends Stanley Cup Final. It's going to be very competitive. When you take a look at the rosters for the teams, we're going to take a look. Some of the rosters, we're going to go through some of them. Here are the Boston Bruins, and we're going to take a look at the leading scorers here. Some of the players on there, and we're going to take a look. For the Bruins, you're going to have Esposito, Marchand, Pastrnak, Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr, good. He has 83 points. Bergeron, Ray Bourque. Remember, Ray Bourque is very tough. Adam Oates, Cam Neely, and you have Torrey Krug. Those are the top 9 scorers on there. I really think they look very good with their offense. They're very, very tough. Taking a look at the next, they will play the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, for the Maple Leafs, they're a team. You can see you have Matthews right there, not a big scorer. And you have Dave Keon for them. You have Mitchell Marner. Yeah, Matt Sundin. Now, Matt Sundin, that spreads it out. Him, Doug Gilmour is good. And that's Daryl Sitter. You can see all 5 centers. You have 5 centers up there. You can tell you who really scores there. Frank Mahavlich, they're going to be an underdog here because there are a lot of good. William Nylander will be in there. And Sillaps Sr., not Sillaps Jr., but Sillaps Sr., Sillaps a Pittsburgh Penguin. That's for Toronto. Now, Vancouver's a very interesting. We have a few teams we want to go over. For the Winnipeg Jets, a team that has old and new on it. You have Dale Hawerchuk, an older name there. You have Patrick Lane, newer. You have old and new. Blake Wheeler there. Mark Scheifele there. You have Kyle Connor, again, new. Nikolai Ehlers, but you have Eddie Olczyk, an old Winnipeg Jet. Yeah, Paul McLean, an old Jet. Look at him. You have Andrew Kopp, Brian Mullen. Wow, Neil Pionk. I guess Thomas Steen. Yeah, Josh Morrissey, Dustin Byfuglien. Oh my goodness, he sounds like a guy that can beat up a pane of glass with his fists. And that's going to be there. The Washington Capitals are a very solid team. They don't have the leading scorer because everybody can score. Ovechkin had 44 goals, but he also had 41 assists. Yeah, Nicholas Backstrom, who's also there. Peter Bondra is a very good player. Mike Gartner, they really have old and new. They have late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, and they have 1 Stanley Cup. TJ Oshie here, John Carlson, but they have Sergei Gonchar and Joey Juneau and Dennis Marouk. Oh my goodness, you have some great ones. Mike Green and Anthony Mantha. Dale Hunter, oh yeah, I can't have that. He had 39 penalty minutes. Remember, every game was so big. Al Iafrate was very big, 69 penalty minutes. Dave Christian, the old 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team. Kevin Hatcher, Tom Wilson. You have a lot of players here, very, very solid players here. The Vancouver Canucks were a surprise. Sedin, but you had Pavel Bure, who was good. Henrik, and then you have Daniel Sedin, and you have Marcus Naslund. They have some really good scorers here. The question is, how good will their defense be? You got some great scorers. Bo Horvat. You have Ed Jovanovski. You know, Todd Bertuzzi. He was in the early 2000s, mid-2000s. Miller, Garland, and Sammy Salo, and Lume, and, of course, the goalies. Taking a look at the goalies. But they're, you know, Luongo is good and Demko. But Luongo, my goodness, in a long, long series, that's going to be very good for them. But now we go to some of the teams that we want to take a look at that are really, how should I say, the marquee teams. Every team is really good. But here are some marquee teams that we see. So we already went through Toronto. Tampa Bay, what a great one, as Vincent Lecavalier will go. Martin St. Louis, he's one. Stamkos is good. The defense is just so good. The offense is good. It's very much hard-fought games here, and that's Tampa Bay right there. St. Louis Blues have Brett Hull, who's incredible. Bernie Federico has it. Paul Buchnevich is there. Rod Berenson is there, and we go to that effect. Here is the St. Louis Blues, as you see. Alex Pietrangelo, Perron, Chris Pronger is in there. There are more to a lot of other teams. These are just the scorers. Some of the great defenders are in there. Rob Ramage is in there. Oh, he's big. And that's going to be big. Those are just a few. The Nordiques didn't make it. The Penguins are a tough one. They're a second one. Look at this. You have Crosby, who's here. You have Lemieux, who's here. Okay? Now you have Yager, who's here. And you have Evgeny Malkin, who's here. And you have Joey Mullen, who's, oh my God, they spread around goals like it's unbelievable. Then you have Pierre LaRouche from the 70s. He's really good. Jake Gunsel, Alexei Kovalev, Chris Letang. This is a solid team. They're going to be very difficult to beat 4 times. And they, Chris Kunitz is in there. Kevin Stevens, Brian Russ, Yuri Slager, John Marino. I don't know how maybe his last name is Marino. And he's a Pittsburgh guy. Not related to Dan. Ulf Samuelson. I would take Shell probably over Marino. Dumoulin, Brian Boyle, an old Penguin. He looks good. Well, the Flyers, they don't make it, but the Islanders made it. And when you see Mike Bossy, and the Penguins, the Islanders have to play the Capitals in the first round. You see Bossy, you see Brian Trottier. That's a big one. Tonelli, and then Barzal. This is going to be a heck of a game. Dennis Potvin and Pat LaFontaine. Bob Nystrom is a good one. He won a Stanley Cup with a goal. Giles and Tavares, that's going to be big. This is going to be a huge tournament. The Montreal Canadiens, everybody wondering who was on Montreal. It's like the All-Star. You have Howie Morenz is there. Guy Lafleur is very good. Maurice Richard, really good. Juan Bellevue is very big. Elmer Locke, he'll be on. Yvon Cornier, he's a lot of old ones. Steve Schott and Serge Savard. You can see a lot of people from the 70s. Bob Gainey, the Andy Kaufman lookalike. Bob Gainey. Bob Gainey used to coach, and he used to coach, I think, Minnesota, and then he used to coach maybe Minnesota, the North Stars. I remember Bob Gainey. I think he was a coach of the Capitals or something like that. I remember him as a coach, and he was the only person I wanted to jump through the TV screen and fight. Larry Robinson, Henry Richard is on there. You have Guy Lapointe. This is a team that struggled because they're built like an all-star team. They have a lot of talent, but they gelled late. PK Subban, very good. Nyland is good. I mean, but your biggest thing are your goalies, and that's the thing. You have Jacques Plante, who's one of the best, 240 goals against, and you have Ken Dryden. So you take a look there, and they're looking good. Taking a look, that's Montreal. The LA Kings. The Kings are pretty unique. You have Robitaille, Marcel Dion, Kopitar, Nichols. You have Goring, Teofili, Taylor. I don't think that they got to have Wayne Gretzky. Maybe not. I think they put Gretzky on the Edmonton Oilers. Dave Taylor there, and Gretzky would be on the Oilers. Nevin, they have Rob Blake, Adrian Kemp. You follow Martinez, Brown, Muslim Karab. So they kept them. Now Hartford Whalers. Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe is up there. He's a big one. It's when he was 28 years old. Gordie Howe. You have Ray Ferraro, Brendan Shanahan, Mark Howe, I guess Gordie's kid, I think. Bobby Halik, Brian Propp, Keith Primu. They have young talent. Doug Jarvis, Mark Hunter, Murray Craven, who was really good in the early 90s. Dave Babich, that's a 70s holder. Ulf Samuelson, another Ulf. He's from the Penguins also. So they have two Ulfs, but they didn't put Gretzky on the Kings. I guess he was Stu Gavin, the old Chris Pronger, Nelson Emerson, Robert Cron, Steve Conroy. And those are the people that scored there. That is big. The Edmonton Oilers. You have Connor McDavid, who's really good. You have Wayne Gretzky, who's most of Connor McDavid passes went to Wayne Gretzky. He's one of the best. Paul Coffey, Yari Curry. But you also have Leon Draisaitl, I guess. Jason Arnott, who's in there. Esa Tikkanen, who's very good. Glenn Anderson of the 80s. He was very good. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And Ryan Smith is in there. Zach Hyman and Charlie Huddy. Taylor Hall. And Darnell Nurse. And Kevin Lowe. The Rock, he's good. Georges Laraque. Laraque is very solid. Ninema is there. I'm just... Rudo Solanen, I guess. Very good there. And you also have Grant Fuhr, who's a heck of a goalie. There. As we take a look, we saw Boston... we're going to take a look if there's anything else. The Chicago Blackhawks, actually. Patrick Kane, Bobby Hall, Dennis Savard, Chris Chelios, Stan Mikita. Any one of these teams can win it all. It's just who gets hot. Roenick and Taves. It's just really who gets hot. And the teams that get hot will win it all. That's it. There is really almost no difference. And now we're going to take a look really at the Dallas Stars and then the Detroit Red Wings, and we'll take one more look at the standings, and that'll be it. We're going to have Madonna and Neil Broughton again. He's from Minnesota. That's why we didn't put Minnesota in, is because they have this. Radulov, Sergei Zubov, and Tyler Seguin again. Smith, Bobby Smith of the Old North Stars. Brian Bellis, and you take a look down here. Dino Ciccarelli is pretty good. And Jason Robertson, very good there. And that's Brendan Morrow. And, the Dallas Stars, they're in there. And finally, the Detroit Red Wings. You have Ted Lindsay, who's good. Pavel Datsyuk, good from the 90s. Gordie Howe, another Gordie Howe. Sergei Fedorov, very good. Steve Yzerman in there. And I can see why Gretzky didn't make the Kings, because they won a Stanley Cup without Gretzky. They got to a Stanley Cup with him, but, they had better statistical centers while they were at the LA Kings. He didn't put up 212 points with the Kings. He did it with the Oilers. Lindstrom, Shanahan, Brendan Shanahan, they have a loaded team. Konstantinov, Bertuzzi, Cronwall, Chris Draper, Darren McCarty, Probert, Larson. Another one that we do want to see is the Colorado Avalanche. Now, Colorado, you have Joe Sakic, you have McKinnon, Raitanen, Peter Stastny, Oh, he's from the old Quebec days, so it could have been. So they're going to raid actually a little bit of the Quebec. Michel Goulet, he's a Quebec guy. Milan Hayduke, Alex Tanguay, Podine, Girard, Tyson Berry, and Match Duchesne. Adam Foote, Uwe Krupp. Oh, we remember Uwe from the early 90s. So there are some Quebec Nordiques, but the Nordiques themselves did not make the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs, so there are some that were both. Now back to the tree. The playoff tree again, there you see. It's going to be the Avalanche against the Blues, the Winnipeg Jets against the Hartford Whalers, the LA Kings against the Edmonton Oilers. Gretzky's only on the Oilers. The Vancouver Canucks against the Chicago Blackhawks. So that'll be very, very good there. The top seed, the higher seed, is on the left-hand side. Washington will be against the New York Islanders. The Penguins will play the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. That'll be a really good one. It'll be the Detroit Red Wings against the Montreal Canadiens. Oh, that's incredible. And Boston will be against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Of the original 6, the quote original 6, 5 made it. The only one that didn't make it was the New York Rangers. And the only one that is in the Western Conference is the Chicago Blackhawks, and they made it. Well, the Eastern Conference is 5 of the original 6. So that's possibly why the Rangers didn't make it. But there you see the playoffs. And it will start after basketball is done. So we're going to have basketball. We're going to have that done. In fact, we're going to do another game right in a few minutes. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you later. And when basketball is done, next week, we're going to have the Legends League Stanley Cup playoffs. Have a great day, and we will see you then.